Hi and welcome to the Graham Strategy channel. I want to start this off by saying that I am not a financial advisor and I do not make any recommendations on what you should or should not buy or sell. The whole purpose of this new channel is to invest based on a specific strategy, and my plan is to adhere to the so-called Graham strategy and see how well it works over time. The strategy was developed by a successful economist, professor, and investor by the name Benjamin Graham, who is known as the father of value investing. He wrote a book named The Intelligent Investor that was published in 1949, and none other than Warren Buffett read this book when he was 19 years old, and it said that it is the best book ever written on investing. And judging by Warren Buffett's success on the stock market, this may very well be true. In chapter 14 of this book, Benjamin Graham gives advice on how to invest defensively while still making great returns. And Graham identifies 7 criteria for selection of stable companies suitable for the defensive investor. And I will go through these 7 criteria in a future video, but in this video I will start by applying this strategy on a new real defensive stock portfolio and follow its progress to see how well the strategy actually works. So, to my help, I have an online tool, Börsdata. I'll leave a link below, which comes with all kinds of different tricks and features for the modern stock investor. They are not a sponsor of this video. By selecting strategy, a number of different strategies are shown, and I select the Graham strategy, and a graph is displayed showing the historical returns since March 2001 if the Graham strategy had been applied, and compares to a popular Swedish index, the black line here below, which is the OMX 30. And in this basic case, it assumes that you started investing in March 2001 and that you invested in 20 companies and that you reinvested dividends. And you can see the difference here over these 20 years, that the Graham strategy had a return of 1,313%, while the OMX 30 only had a return of about 123%, or a yearly return of 14.2% for the Graham strategy and 4.1% for the OMX 30. And the strategy has only been applied using Swedish stocks and only stocks on the large and mid caps on the Swedish stock exchange. So the simulation here does not include fees for buying or selling stocks, and in order to minimize fees, I will only invest in the top 5 companies based on the strategy. So here I changed from 20 companies down to 5 companies, and I can update the simulation. And we'll see that the total return will go up to 2,729%, or a yearly return of 18.2%, which is extremely good. And you may wonder, if we change the starting date, will the results be the same or will be different? But actually, if we change to December 2001, the return goes up to more than 4,000%, and changing to December 2002, it will be even higher, up to 4,429%. That is 45 times the invested amount. And the reason why the return is much larger when we select December 2002 is because that was the bottom of the index after the tech bubble crash. So if you start a date when the index is at a low point, you of course get a much greater return. So now I scroll down, and here we get a list of companies that are screened based on the 7 criteria of the Graham strategy. And I select stocks from the large and mid caps of the Swedish stock exchange, and I update, and we get 5 companies that are the top 5. They are Boliden, Fagerhult, Beskab, New Wave, and Betsson. They all get 6 points out of 7, which means they miss one of the criteria. But I will start by buying these 6 companies, and I will invest 50,000 Swedish crowns in each company. That is a total of 250,000 Swedish crowns, which is about 30,000 US dollars. And to follow this strategy based on the simulation, I should keep these stocks until March next year. But that would be quite boring. So my plan is actually to update the portfolio every 6 months. And that is because Börsdata, they update the data here 4 times per year as the quarterly reports are released. So I will rebalance the portfolio twice per year, once in March and once in September. So today, the 8th of March, I bought these 5 companies on the Swedish Stock Exchange, and I spent roughly 50,000 for each company. And since I bought them around noon today, the price have changed a little bit. You can see that the market value of each investment is about 50,000 Swedish crowns. So here we can see the OMX30 together with the Dow Jones. The blue line is the Dow Jones. And what is quite clear from this graph is that we currently are at an all-time high on the stock market, regardless if you look at the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, or the OMX30. And from that perspective, it may be a little bit foolish to buy stocks at this time. But at the same time, I think we can compare the situation to the situation that we had back in 1999 in August, when the stock market took off and reached a very high, all-time high after a frenzy on the stock market. And I think it's very likely that we will see a similar scenario the next few months, and then we'll see a decline in the stock market. That's just my prediction. I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll see. And so let's assume that we start investing at the top here of a bubble, like in at the top of the financial bubble in July 2007. So let's go to the Graham investment strategy, and we change the start date to 2007 July, and we update. And then we can see that for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, the return based on the Graham strategy was not much better than the index, was basically the same. But then after 7 years, it starts taking off, and after another couple of years or a few years, we see that the return based on the Graham strategy was almost 7 times better than the OMX30 index. So let's follow the strategy now and see where we will end up. This will take many years, but I hope you're interested in stocks and financial market, and you will follow this and you will see what the Graham strategy can actually do for you as a financial investor. So stay tuned for updates on the portfolio, subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates when I release a new video. My plan is to do so at least once per month, depending on whether or not I have any interesting information to share. So until next time, stay sharp and follow your passion.